You're listening to Mic Drop Moments, a podcast brought to you each week with me, your host, Sandra Garlick. During the podcast, I invite guests to share their amazing stories, knowledge and top tips, including their mic drop moments, especially for you. I also share my learning and inspiration about life, business growth and visibility. I'm delighted to bring the Mic Drop Moments podcast to you each week to inspire and motivate you to achieve. Enjoy the podcast and don't forget to leave a review. Mic Drop Moments is sponsored by Grow Radio. Want to launch your own podcast? Grow Radio are here to help. Grow Radio has launched and supported countless podcasts, and they'd love to do the same for you. Just hit record and they'll handle the rest. No editing stress, no technical faff, just a great podcast released when you want. Need a little extra support? Grow Radio's workshops and courses make getting started easy. Let's bring your podcast to life. Message Grow Radio on social media. Let's make this happen. Welcome to this week's episode of Mic Drop Moments. This is a very different episode to usual, and there's a reason for that. Recently, I held an event called Mic Drop Live. I wanted to flip the script and do something completely different. I love seeing people standing on my stages, but I can't have everybody on my stage. So I decided to create an event where everybody got the opportunity to use speaking in a way that they wanted to. And I created opportunities for the audience to be the speakers. So as well as my speakers who were educating, motivating, and being inspirational, they were teaching the audience how to use tools and techniques in their speaking and then to have a go. I always find that you can go to a course or a workshop or an event, you take copious amounts of notes, you get them home with every intention of doing something with them, and then they go on a shelf or in a drawer or in your bag until next time. And the implementation part was actually missing. And then I held loads of speaker bootcamps. And although I get people speaking on the day, they would still go away and sit on it and do nothing with it. So I thought, how about actually getting the learning in the room, but also getting to implement it there and then. So what I created was opportunities for each of the attendees to either speak on the stage, doing a 5-minute keynote, or coming onto a panel and being interviewed. And in one of the interviews, I even flipped it the other way and asked them to interview me. So they got experience of interviewing somebody on a stage. And being interviewed on a stage is a completely different to speaking. And sometimes when we're speaking, we don't know what we want to say. And if you're feeling slightly nervous or if it's the first time, you may want to be interviewed. It's an easier way if somebody is prompting you and asking the right questions. And then I thought, why not get the audience to be podcast hosts and interview each other? And I said, go off with a podcast mic, ask some really interesting questions, and then pass the baton, pass the podcast mic on to somebody else and let them have a go at interviewing. And that's what I've got for you today. I've got reflections from Mic Drop Live from the event. And I've also got some people just trying out their interview style. And it's really interesting to listen to them back, and I hope you enjoy them as well. You're going to get a real mix of questions, really different interview styles. You're going to get a few laughs and a few giggles, and I'm sure some of them we've cut out completely because they're literally switching the mic on and off again and going whoops. So you won't be getting those, but you will get a flavour of the people that were there on the day, why they attend events like that, what they've enjoyed about the event, but also a little bit of their interviewing style as well. So I really hope you enjoy it. Here we go.
Hello, Andrew. It's so nice to see you here today. I believe that you're here in a supporting role.
I am indeed, and lovely to see you. Hello. Lovely to see you too, and I am here in a supporting role.
Okay, so can you tell me a little bit about who you're supporting?
I'm supporting my wife, Julie Bale, who is the diva of divas.
Excellent. And do you have any public speaking speaking within your within your professional role or within your general life?
Yes, in my professional role, I do quite a lot of public speaking. I'm in telecoms, and I lead sort of international consortia to try and solve problems in telecoms, and that's often a presentational role.
So do you find that there's a contrast between these kind of events that you come to with Julie, which are there's a corporate aspect because there's business people here, but there's a more kind of coaching aspect and the teaching aspect and the kind of events that you might go to where you would be in that more business area?
I think in general in my area, speaking is relatively easy. You have typically an outcome that's quite clear, it's easily measured. My current role is about trying to resolve security problems in telecoms networks, and we know what bad looks like and we know what good looks like. In the more general business space or in the supportive environment, which we often find these events there's a much broader set of outcomes that might be considered to be good. And very often that leads people to not quite know where they're starting from and where they're finishing in their communications. That's often difficult to lay a framework for what I'm trying to achieve, and then to achieve it is harder in this context, I think.
I think that's really interesting. It's a really interesting perspective because I know a lot of the people here are looking at getting into corporates and they're thinking about it in terms of corporate, but having somebody like you who is in corporate and who understands that I wonder whether that perspective that some of us are going into it, who are kind of knocking on the door going, oh, I'd love to be on corporate, but actually within corporate, what's recognisable in speaking is quite different, isn't it?
It is. I think trying to get into corporate, which is a phrase that you often hear, is a very difficult thing to achieve, and mainly because unless you are in the world of business structures and so on, large business structures, it's quite difficult to actually work out who is responsible for what. And to achieve a sale, be it a very small sale, to achieve a £1 sale into a corporate environment is as difficult as achieving a £500,000 sale into a corporate environment. You have to find a budget, you have to find the budget owner, you have to find the needs of the budget owner. And that's quite different from the needs of the person you're actually trying to provide a service to. And finding your way around that quite complicated environment is not trivial.
That's really, really interesting. Thanks ever so much for your perspective today. I've really enjoyed talking to Andrew. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hello, Bex. It's so nice to see you here. I think we've actually only met online. We haven't met in person before. How is it for you being here today and maybe meeting some people that you've also only met online, but now we've got face to face?
I just love these events, and I think for me it's been really instrumental in my confidence. Do you know what I mean? It's like coming home when I come to these events, and like you say, you meet people online, but then to get to meet them in person and have that hug and that sort of physical connection is just a treat.
I think that's really important because a lot of these events that we go to, they're kind of educational, but they are about building relationships. They're about getting to know each other at kind of different level from kind of head to toe rather than the Zoom world where it's just kind of head to shoulder level. So what kind of takeaways have you had so far today?
I think a couple for me. So in terms of sort of what Kate was speaking about, I'm because of my work, so I work a lot with children and adults with SEN or any additional needs really, and so for me it's actually speaking to the whole room and making sure there's a way for people connecting with what I'm saying in a way that feels comfortable for them. So it's about thinking about that and planning that into my different methodologies of connection and how I deliver when I'm speaking to an audience.
I think that's so interesting. And of course, because you're working with children, and children's attitude towards speaking can be very different. And some of what Mita was saying earlier on when she was talking about how we learn in our childhood to hide our voice. But of course, because you're working directly with children, you'll see some, I suspect, who've already learnt to hide, and others who really haven't. So they are ebullient, they want to come out and talk.
Definitely, and I think it's about asking. For me, it's always so. If I'm kind of working with a group of boys, it's about understanding a little bit about their interests. So I always just have a general chat, and I always start with the fact that I'm an Arsenal supporter, and then we kind of have that joke, particularly if one of them's a Spurs fan. But it's about making them feel comfortable with me. So actually, then we can open up the conversation, and they can talk from a point of safety, but also that honesty, because for me in my work, the pupil voice is at the centre of everything. I need to know how whatever a school's doing, how it's landing with the kids.
Yeah, that's really, really interesting, and I think actually what you're saying there is a message that's probably really important for the people in this room as well, of that feeling comfortable and that icebreaker. I know when my son was working with kids back in the day, he was kind of hosting children's parties, and he would often say that if he had a kid who wasn't engaging, he would carry a tennis ball in his pocket and he would just start rolling the ball to them or throwing the ball to them to see, and they would nearly always throw it back. And I suppose that ice-breaking, that's a really valuable technique that you can bring also into your speaking, because you're dealing with nervous adults as much as you're dealing with nervous children potentially.
But yeah, definitely. And I think for me it's always about starting the conversation where the person is, not where I need them to be. So it's about taking that time to understand where they are in that moment, and then sort of taking it from there in terms of that conversation. So yeah, it's for me it's always about, okay, where are they? Sort of in their head, what have they already experienced today, and so starting that at the point where they are.
Excellent. Bex, thank you so much for your time today. It's been an absolute delight chatting to you.
Thank you, you too.
I'm here with Claire. Claire, tell us more about you, your business, and what's brought you here today.
Hi, my name's Claire Roberts-Malloy, and I'm a midlife mindset, leadership and action coach. So I help women over 40 to master their mindsets, but not just master their mindset, then actually take action as well. Because I believe it's never too late for us to achieve our goals or to unlock our lingering dreams. So that's how I work with people. I'm also a TEDx organiser, and that's what I'm here to speak to people about today. So I'll be on stage in a little while talking all about that.
Brilliant. So what else are you hoping to get from this community and being here? Or if we turn it around another way, what tips can you offer people given that experience you've just shared with us with your background?
Well, I used to be absolutely terrified of public speaking, and I'll speak a little bit about that on the stage today. So I think for me it was the journey to finding my voice is what I want to share with women. I work with a lot of women. I've coached over 100 people onto a TEDx stage. So I see that fear of public speaking, I see that self-doubt, and I work with women to overcome that. And I always say, confidence comes through action. So never wait for confidence to come, take the action first.
That is a brilliant finisher. Thank you ever so much, and great to meet you, and looking forward to your talk later.
So I'm here with Claire Ryan this morning, and I'm just going to ask her a question about today. What brought you here today?
The opportunity to explore speaking on stage and thinking it's the next step for me, but actually explore why I don't want to do it, and I guess what's preventing me from taking that real leap to do it. And this morning when Kate was speaking, she was talking about the things of why don't you, or what prevents you. I was thinking about, I'm not quite sure many people want to know what I do and am I talking to the right audience, because I talk about digital transformation and how to make technology work within your business and integrating it with people. And I look around and I think, how many people in a female audience want to talk about technology? And actually, that's what I want to advocate, technology, and I shy away from doing it. So it's interesting for me now sitting here thinking, I shy away from doing what I want to do because I'm putting barriers there myself.
What makes you think that women don't want to hear about tech?
Because a lot of times when I speak to women, they go, that's real techie, don't want to talk to you. Or you're talking at two levels that I don't want to hear about. And I think
so how would it feel to talk at their level?
And that's what I need to learn. That's what I'm trying to discover as to what it is and how to bring my passion for technology and getting it working and making it of benefit to businesses at the right level.
Perfect. I love that. Thank you very much. You were talking to Sarah just now about today. Sarah, can you tell me a bit about what you were talking about?
Yeah, we were talking about choosing something to talk about that you think the audience are going to be interested in. So a little bit you just heard. Most of us end up defaulting to our work environment because most of the stuff we talk about to our friends is very different. So finding a topic that you think people are going to be interested in without going into work mode.
I'm interested, it's a very similar question that I asked Claire. Why do you think people are not interested in what you do?
It's not that I don't think people are interested. It's finding something that you think is going to catch them, because it's a bit like the conversation we just had about technology. Certain topics people will automatically glaze over about, and you're trying to find something to ignite them, to energize them about the topic. So you have all this stuff in your head that's just knowledge that comes out. So how do you put it into a coherent voice that people are going to be interested in listening to?
That's a really interesting point, and I think it's something that my dad talked about a lot, was keeping things as simple as possible. Yeah. And I'm not going to teach you to suck eggs because this is an interview within Mic Drop Live. So I'm going to stop there. Thank you very much, both of you.
Thank you.
Hi, it's Hazel here. I am here at Mic Drop Live with Emma. Emma, can you tell me a little bit about what you do and how you help women in your business?
Yes, hi Hazel. So my name is Emma Michael from Emma Michael AI Solutions, and I build personalised AI assistants for coaches and creatives. So it's like having a smart on-call business helper that knows your voice, your offers and your way of working. And I work with midlife women that are completely non-techie, so I help them know that AI should be accessible for everybody and you're not too old and it's not too late.
Fabulous, thank you Emma. And here today at Mic Drop Live, what has been your biggest takeaway, or what has resonated with you the most today?
That the power of connection and networking and being in the right room is absolutely incredible. I've met so many amazing women here today, and it's so lovely to get away from online, and that you cannot beat in-person connection.
Hello, I'm here with Geeta. And Geeta, what's brought you here today?
I thought it'd be really good to come and meet some people who actually do this for a living and get some tips and techniques. And my view is, if I can walk away today with just one tip on how to better put my message out there, how to reach more people, then I've achieved something.
Okay, and have you been to any events like this before and spoken on stages?
I have spoken on stages. I haven't actually been to an event like this though. I've not been to one where you learn how to speak or from a professional perspective, but I do speak on stage. Yeah.
And what would be one thing that you want to take away from today?
impact on how to deliver a message and actually have some lasting impact, because we all speak, we all talk all the time, and how to get that message out there in few words, because God knows I can speak.
Great, it's been lovely to meet you. I'm Cam, and we will get on with the rest of the day. Thank you.
Nice to meet you, Cam.
So Hayley, what brought you here today?
So I would really love to get more confidence speaking. I saw Sandra at an event in December and then heard about this event. So for me, it felt like the perfect event to come to, just to find more about speaking, get some tips, maybe have a go. We shall see.
So are you speaking on the 5-minute mic drop?
I feel like I did say that I would. I've changed my mind about 25 times on the way here, thinking, no, I'll just sit and watch, so we'll see what happens.
Oh, I think you should do it. Remember to get those jiggles out. Okay, well, I hope to see you up there, and see you later.
Thank you very much.
Hello, so I'm here live from Mic Drop Live, and I'm talking today to Hazel Turner, who is a brand strategist. Good afternoon, Hazel.
Hi there, Emma. Great to talk to you.
Yeah, so can you tell me a little bit about what you've experienced today at Mic Drop Live?
Oh, it's been such an amazing event. I am so glad that I signed up for this. I can remember Sandra promoting it back in September, I think, and I just jumped straight in because I've been doing a little bit of public speaking for the last 2 years, but have never really spoken on a stage. It's been at more low-key, informal events. And as part of my visibility strategy, I knew that I needed to push myself to speak on some larger stages. And this event has given me the opportunity to do that in a really welcoming and supportive space. So it's been a great place to try it, to test myself, and also to learn some new skills.
Fantastic, thank you. And I think one thing that we probably mutually agree is that Sandra has this amazing way of connecting incredible women. And how long have you been in her network?
I joined her network back last April or May, I think. It was all to do with, thanks to Michelle Levers, the female business mentor. I was paired with her. I was so lucky. I was paired with her through the Santander Female Leadership Programme, and she introduced me into Sandra's world.
Oh, that's amazing, thank you. And for anyone thinking of attending any of Sandra's events, what advice have you got for them?
Oh, go for it. You won't be disappointed. And as we were saying earlier, we realised that we've actually met on screen before, because Sandra also holds a lot of on screen, Zoom events as well. But being with people in the room, seeing them, seeing they have legs and feet, it's another world. It just really adds an extra dimension to it and makes those connections all the more strong and powerful.
Amazing. Hazel, thank you so much. It's been so lovely to meet you in real life.
Thank you. You too, Emma.
I'm here with Jenny McDonald, and I want to find out more about what she does and why she's here today.
Hello, lovely to meet you. So I am an emotional eating coach. I work with women to help them break free from dieting and heal their relationship with food.
Oh wow, I feel like there's going to be a lot of people that would benefit from that today. What's made you come along today, specifically booking on to do speaking?
So I love speaking in public. It's just something that I get such a buzz from. So when I heard that Sandra was running Mic Drop Live, I was like, yeah, I'm all in. I'm here. Bring it on.
And is there anything that's worrying you? Are you going to go up and speak, do you think?
If my name gets picked, then I'll be up there to speak. And I guess I'm not going to lie. There's always that little feeling in your stomach that's like nerves, anxiety, but I like to call it excitement. It's like, oh, I'm excited to share my knowledge, my experience with whoever's in the room. And obviously there's someone in here that's supposed to hear that. So, I get a bit of a buzz from it, which I know for many people it's such a difficult thing to do. But for me, it's like my happy place.
I love that. You're picking up about the excitement, and we've just had a talk, haven't we, about saying make sure that you enjoy the moment when you go up there, and the whole EFT with reducing the nerves and just enjoying the moment. So thank you ever so much, and lovely to meet you.
Hi, it's Hazel Turner here. I'm here with John Cleary. We are at Mic Drop Live, hosted by Sandra Garlick, and a lot of people will recognise John because he's Sandra's main photographer, I think I'm right in saying. So, John, at an event like today, what tips would you give to people so that you can capture them in the best light while they are speaking on stage?
Okay, so the thing that most people will find is if ever they've done any speaking and they've had photos taken, the photos are always hideous because it's really difficult to photograph people. It's very easy for me to photograph people while they're talking, but generally the photos don't look good. So my biggest tip would be pause at the end of a sentence, smile, and then carry on rather than just kind of going on from. And I appreciate when you're on stage, it's really difficult to do that because you're just concentrating on what you're talking about. But if you can remember, always pause at the end of a sentence, smile. Obviously, smiling's not always appropriate, depending on the subject. But yeah, that would be my top tip.
Amazing. Thank you so much, John. I'm Hazel Turner and I'm here with Julie Bale today at Mic Drop Live, hosted by Sandra Garlick. Julie gave an amazing talk earlier with lots of tips for how to compose yourself, keep your calm, thinking about your breathing. Have you got what's your one top tip that you would like people to take away from today, Julie?
My one top tip is get out there and get speaking, because speaking is not something that comes natural to everybody, it's a skill. And so the more you practice it, the better you'll get.
Welcome to Cam, who I'm speaking to today at Mic Drop Live. Cam, it's so lovely to meet you today for the first time. Can you tell me what brought you here today?
I've networked with Sandra and I think she's amazing. So a little bit of a girl crush brought me here, and also the fact that she does so much for women, supporting women, and I really wanted to be part of this today.
That's so lovely to hear. Nothing like actually meeting your girl crush in person, right? So if you were to just fast forward to the end of today, what are the 2 or 3 things, or 1 or 2 things, that you'd really like to leave the day with?
I think connections, definitely. There's lots of people in this room who I am instantly drawn to, and I think losing a little bit of that nervous energy and anxiety around stepping up on stage.
Fabulous, thank you so much. And we've been admiring your skirt all day today. Thank you so much. Cam is also wearing a top with the skirt, just to let you know. It's been lovely talking to you. I'm Shanaz, and I hope to see you around today a little bit more, and to listening to you on stage or on a panel or whatever it is. Any last words for anyone who hasn't experienced today that you'd like to share?
Definitely have a look at coming to one of the events with Sandra. She makes it a really warm and welcoming environment for anyone, whatever your experience.
Beautiful, thank you so much.
I'm briefly interrupting this podcast to tell you about the Woman Who Achieves Awards 2026. Entries are now open until midnight on Sunday, the 15th of February. Just visit womanwho.co.uk/awards for all the information. This is your opportunity to share your story, your achievements, and your goals and aspirations for the future. Plus, entering awards is a fantastic way to boost your visibility in 2026. And this year, there are some brand new questions to really give you value by going through the entry process. It's a huge reflection piece. There are also some great sponsorship opportunities available. Now, back to the podcast.
I'm here with Kim Rogers at Mic Drop Live. And Kim, what brought you here today?
I've been on Sandra's radar for a while, following her, and I also was a finalist last year at the Entrepreneur Awards. But for me, this is more about getting more connected and visible because my world's completely changed in the last few months. So it's me stepping into my truth now and doing the work that I was meant to do.
So tell me about what that work is.
I come from a long history of performing arts, so I was an ex-professional dancer and singer and a dance teacher, but now I'm stepping fully into my role as a dance mindset and well-being coach. So the dance industry is beautiful, but it's also very dark, and there's a lot of mental health issues, and there's nobody taking up that space to support the children and teenagers and teachers with the many struggles that they have in the dance industry. So that's what I do.
So are you looking at one particular area with children, teenagers or adults, or?
So the big mission is to work with the government to get them on board to create an independent governing body so that it can be regulated for safety reasons, because we currently aren't regulated. So anyone could be a dance teacher, and the mental health and the physical health is being damaged because people aren't regulated. So my big mission is to do the work that I'm doing, is to start speaking up, get a voice so that the government listen and get a governing board in place so we can regulate the industry.
That absolutely sent shivers down my spine, because if I think how important someone like a dance teacher is in a child's life or in a teenager's life, and the fact that they really don't have any mental health training is terrifying, to be perfectly honest. My world changed when I realised that the work that I was doing with nutritional therapy wasn't a wide enough span to help the people that I was working with. And I realised then that I needed to do something more around behaviour. Now I'm going to hand the mic over to you so you can talk to me, continuing the conversation.
No, thank you. And actually that's really interesting, because that's why I was kind of walking towards you, because everything you were talking about earlier on in your talk resonated in a sense of, I understand that when we're not teaching or training our children and teenagers to understand the essence of who they are, and I'm going into things like somatic work and mental well-being, they don't understand the long-term effects it has on their health, and things like heart disease and all the other diseases that we can, things like we were talking about earlier on, like with your blood sugar levels, like all of that comes from when we're living a stressful life, and we don't teach our children enough about looking after themselves, which is why I was so passionate about the work you do. So how did you get in to doing the work that you're doing now?
Well, now you're going to get my story. So my story, I was originally a nurse and I specialised in diabetes. So that's go back to the late 80s. And fast forward to, I was 48, so 17 years ago. My body started behaving really weirdly. And I was listening, but no one else was. So 2 years after that, I finally collapsed, ended up in hospital, and to be fair, and this sounds a bit, I don't mean this to sound, I had to guide the doctors to where to look, and finally we worked out why my body had stopped. And to be honest, that consultant said to my husband that if we hadn't gone to hospital that day, I probably wouldn't be here any longer. And so I took a journey to start helping myself get well, because the medication that I took didn't help me. And my body just couldn't respond to it because it was so depleted. And over the last 15 years, I have been gradually going down that meandering journey of working out what I needed to help myself. So I started the nutrition training. I found a naturopathic nutrition training that I felt was me. And I went to train, and I suddenly realized that, I've got all this experience and all this knowledge, and now all this personal experience. I must be able to help other people.
Amazing. And that's exactly where now I think, looking at sort of where I'm working and where you're working, it ties in so beautifully, because if we knew the impact that health has on our, our physical well-being, if we start training children at an earlier age, they become much more aware, and hopefully the plan is that they become so much more self-aware, they won't need that medical intervention in years to come, because they'll be so much more aware of their body and their nutrition, of what's healthy and what's not healthy. So beautiful.
And also what I love is the knock-on effect of what I'm doing. So I've worked with several teachers, for instance, and those teachers are taking the calming techniques that I teach them into the classroom. They are teaching the children that eating protein is important, and the psychotherapists are doing that with their clients. And I have, I think, 5 psychotherapists on my books at the moment, and they went into psychotherapy probably for a very similar reason to why I went into nutrition, to help themselves, and now they're helping other people with it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm Alice Yates, and
I'm Kim Rogers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm delighted to be here with Louise today. So, how are you feeling today about being here at Mic Drop Live?
I'm very excited to learn all that I can about speaking, both on stage and off stage.
It's quite fascinating, isn't it? Because we do quite a lot of speaking in our day-to-day lives, but we don't necessarily think about it as, something that we can really learn how to do.
Yeah, I think that's what's become apparent already this morning, that actually every single conversation we have is speaking.
It really is, isn't it? And we heard one of our panellists earlier on giving some really good advice about this idea of curiosity and kind of having fun with it. And even as she was saying that, I was feeling like, oh my gosh, that seems quite alien, the idea that you could have fun doing with it. How did that land with you when she said that?
It's interesting because my word of the year last year was fun, so I was trying to inject fun into everything that I did, and I've tried to take it forward into 2026 as well. So I think that actually the idea of speaking being fun is a little bit alien now, but I'm willing to embrace it.
Excellent. And I know that you work with tech, don't you, and giving people their time back. And when you were telling me about that earlier, it was making me think, oh, here's a lady like taking the admin and the tech away so that her clients can have more fun. Do you feel that that's their outcome that they get?
Absolutely. I always encourage them to take more time out of their business so they can have fun. And I encourage myself to do the same.
Excellent. That sounds really good. Where can people contact you if they want to, Louise?
My Instagram handle is Big Smiley Face Louise, or on LinkedIn, I'm Louise Purvis, Purvis with a U.
Excellent. Thank you so much for your time here today.
So I'm here with Nita Davalia. Nita, we've just heard you speak very much about burnout and healing in your way. What brought you here today?
I realised through my own healing, Alice, that healing is so important, and it's important to share that it's so much more than taking medication, and I want to empower people to take more responsibility for their health and well-being and give them the tools to help them do that.
And as you know from what I've said today, that is also what I'm trying to do. So I worked in the NHS for a good few years and was empowering young people to manage their diabetes. And now I'm empowering older people to actually take responsibility for their health. So you talked about your own journey, and you've obviously done a lot of training in new fields. So when did your journey from pharmacy into new fields start?
I would say over 20 years ago, when I was introduced to a book called Your Body Speaks Your Mind. That was the first insight I had about how thoughts and emotions impact your health. And after that, I got drawn to things like Reiki, yoga, meditation, and I realized then that medication alone is not the answer, and that led me down this path of healing in a different way.
And I love that statement of medication alone is not the answer, because sometimes it's necessary.
Yes.
And very often, actually, I believe, and I think you probably do too, that people can stop taking it, that they don't necessarily have to be on it for life. What do you think about that?
Yes, I think in the Western world, there is a place for medication, but very often we're treating symptoms. We're not getting to the root cause of problems, so people are continuously taking the medication, whereas if we identify the root cause of the problem, then the problem itself won't reoccur.
So I'm going to say I'm Alice Yates, and this is
Nita Davalia.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm here with Nikki Price at Mic Drop Live. Nikki, what brought you here today?
I have just joined up with Sandra Garlick actually to do her speaker program, and this was the first opportunity to kind of try and condense a talk into like 5 minutes. So really excited about getting on stage and just trying it out today.
And how did you feel about that condensing into 5 minutes? I'm really interested because I'm getting up on stage too and doing 5 minutes, and it's very short.
It is very short, and I'm a mindset coach as well, so it's getting into that right mindset. And I felt very much that we're going to have to do it unscripted, and I felt that because it's 5 minutes, it has to be unscripted and just kind of do it, and that alone is terrifying.
I'm totally with you on that. I'm feeling like, no, script is not a good idea, because actually it probably slows you down in some ways. So what have you taken away from what we've done so far to help you with that?
I think the tips that were given were really helpful, and I think it's really just about, I think the main point when somebody said, oh, nobody here wants you to fail. And everybody starts somewhere. Nobody starts as an expert. And I think if you tell yourself that you're excited about what you're doing, that's a really good tip as well, by the way, to say that you're really excited about what you're about to do and just enjoy it as best you can.
I'm totally with you about that. And what did you think about the curiosity and joy point?
I think that is a very valid point, actually. We are supposed to enjoy what we do. This is part of the journey, and if we can't enjoy the journey, then what are we aiming for the destination for? We need to enjoy life, be in this present moment here, and not worry about the past or anything in the future, just right here, right now, speaking to a wonderful group of women who are all here to support us. So
I love that. Thank you so much.
Here with Nikki Price. Nikki, have you got a tip for people when it comes to public speaking?
Yes, absolutely. I think before we're about to go on stage, I think one of the most powerful things that we can do to really calm our mind is the mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined, and it doesn't know the difference between fear and excitement until you tell it. So when you start to feel those nerves coming on board, if you start to tell your mind that you're excited, it has a completely different physiological response in the body. And so it will start to return the blood away from the limbs that it's just pumped it to get you the hell out of there, and it starts to pump it back to the brain so that you can then focus. So tell your mind you're excited, you want to be focused, and you're ready and you're happy about it.
Amazing, Nikki. Thank you so much. I have heard something along those lines before where basically it's very similar, but along the lines of before you go on stage, start to think of all the positive feelings you will have at the end, the excitement, the fact that you're getting, recognition. So that follows on. You've really emphasised that.
Yeah, 100%. And what you can as well, if you're really thinking, who am I to be and standing on stage, think about the value of what you're sharing and how much you want to get that message out, and that actually you'd be doing a real disservice to those people out in the audience. And that sometimes just takes some of the fear away as well.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you. So next time you're nervous about going on stage, just think of it as a public service.
Hi there, I'm Geeta and I'm here today with Rachel at the Mic Drop event. Hi Rachel.
Hiya.
So what brings you here today?
I'm here to step out of my comfort zone, speak on stage on the 5-minute mic drops and talk about my dating coaching.
So have you had much experience speaking in public till now?
I have done some podcasts. I do a weekly masterclass in my Facebook group, but not on an actual stage. I've done some training. I'm excited and I'm just ready to go out there.
Amazing. So what's the one thing you would like to take away from today?
Just to spread the hope that your person is out there and they're also looking for you. You need to, step into that confident, amazing version of yourself, and that will attract your person to you.
That's fantastic. A really positive way to look at it. Well, hopefully we'll catch up later on today.
I'm here with Rosie. Rosie, tell us why you're here today.
I am here to experience everything that Sandra and the team and all the other people, and to meet as many empowering women as I can, because you guys, just by being here, it's an extraordinary experience and it's so uplifting and empowering. And I've been to one of Sandra's events before and it was extraordinary, and that's where I met Bex, and it's amplified me and my business and the opportunities. I've gone from that experience last time to now speaking on international stages.
Oh my goodness, tell me more about the international stages.
Well, I am the CEO of Inspires Tuition and Inspires Community Provision, and we work with the most disadvantaged and vulnerable children in the southeast of England, and I'm a member of a fellow of the International Forum for Inclusion Practitioners, and they invited me to Kazakhstan. So since having the power, I've been so empowered by the awards ceremony last year. It's caused me to be able to have the self-confidence to be able to put myself out there, and because I've then ended up becoming a fellow of the IFIP and of the RSA because of the work that I do, it's enabled me to have the self-confidence. Because I'm neurodivergent, and you'll hear more about that in my talk later, imposter syndrome is huge. So it means that finally I've believed that I can, after all of these years, and I'm nearly 50. So thank you so much, everybody, and it's amazing to speak to you.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you ever so much. Great to meet you, and good luck with everything. I'm here with Sally. Sally, could you tell us more about what you do and why you're here today?
Hi, I'd love to. I am a midlife mentor and embodiment coach, and I support women into their full aliveness and embodiment to live their most turned on lives ever.
Wow, that sounds like really, really interesting. How do you do that? So just tell me a bit more about how you do that. And obviously now we're in a room of amazing women, there's going to be no end of opportunities throughout the day to network and meet great people.
Absolutely, yes, because the way I work is starting with the nervous system, because what I know in my training as a trauma-informed and nervous system-informed facilitator is that most women are running on cortisol and their adrenals are fried, and so the practices that I bring reset the nervous system into ease, and then I start introducing the feel-good hormone oxytocin with very specific practices. And oxytocin is like magic medicine in female bodies, particularly because it starts naturally reducing cortisol so that you can create spaciousness in the body. It reduces anxiety and stress, helps you to sleep, and just reactivates your alive, vibrant life force.
Brilliant, I love that. So tell me, are you speaking this afternoon, or what are you hoping to get out of the rest of the day?
Yes, I'm hoping to have a 5-minute slot. I've booked a video, and I just want to really share my magic, because I believe that an embodied, turned-on woman is the revolution that the world needs right now.
Fantastic, thank you ever so much, and enjoy the rest of the day.
Hello, Sandra. I am so happy to be able to grab a few moments with you at Mic Drop Live. So, how are you doing today?
Well, it's been a little bit frenzied, as with any event, when you're hosting it and organising it. And this is a brand new area for me. We're in Oxford, and it's my first event here, and I'm loving it. And I'm loving just the energy in the room.
I think it's absolutely amazing, and I've already been going around talking to quite a few people. And what I'm interested in is you could say there's lots of people who work in mindset, but they're all in really different directions. I'm so interested in how you get your audience here, like how you just attract these amazing humans into one space.
I'll let you into a secret. I don't know half the people in this room. I really don't. Some are in my membership, some are in Amplify, some are Academy members, but there's people in this room I don't know, and I'm meeting them for the first time today. So whether it's people recommending it and telling people they need to be in the room, whether it's my marketing, whether it's my social media, whether it's my personal brand, I don't know. But I'm starting to track now every single person that comes into my sphere, my space, but I really, really make a big effort to make sure everyone feels welcome.
That is so interesting, and I think that's probably a message to us all to, we often get this idea about look for your ideal client, but I think what you're talking about is the visibility attracts that energy into the room.
And when people see me, maybe they listen to my podcast, maybe they've seen me on stages, maybe they've seen me somewhere or on social media, but they've gravitated towards me because my messaging is appealing to them, and that's the way they come into my world.
Brilliant. Thank you so much on a day like today where you're doing so much for giving me a few minutes of your time, Sandra.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to Shanaz. How are you doing today? And I would love to hear what's bringing you here today and what do you hope to get out of it?
Thank you, Sally. It's lovely to be here as well. There's so many beautiful women. The energy is incredible here. I think what brought me here today is that I actually used to do lots of performances when I was younger and absolutely hated it because it wasn't my choice. So my mother, of course, was doing her best to expose me to music and to singing and all of that. This is about reclaiming that time and actually having fun with it this time, consciously speaking to people like yourself and hopefully sharing my message.
Amazing. I'm so excited to hear what you have to share. And why do you believe that now is the time for females to amplify their voices on stage?
Honestly, we're entering the age of Aquarius. We have the Fire Horse year beginning in just a few weeks' time. And I think that it's important now for the divine feminine to come forward because we are the ones where if we're allowed and enabled and accepted for the nurturing role that we play, everyone stands to benefit. So I am so thrilled that I decided to come to the planet in female form this time around. I'm ready to do business, and I'm ready to embrace and connect and celebrate with anyone else who feels that way inclined.
Oh my goddess, you speak my language, sister. That is what I'm all about as well. And like you, I feel like now is the time for us to embody our deep feminine essence and amplify our voices for the benefit of all. Thank you, Chanel.
Hello, so I'm here from Mic Drop Live and I'm now chatting with Tara. So Tara, can you just introduce yourself, please?
Hi there, my name's Tara Ascombe from TKA Finance Training, and I help business owners to understand the numbers, make better decisions and take home more money.
Fantastic. And can you tell me, what have you found has been your favourite bit so far of Mic Drop Live today?
Oh, that's a difficult one. Different connections, so getting to meet different people. The speakers have been phenomenal, but then also the opportunity to practice speaking on stage and listening to other people's talks as well, because it gives you ideas and gives you sort of hints and tips. So all in all, I feel like it's been a really enjoyable day, a mixture of different things, and I'll definitely be booking for next year.
I love that, thank you. So this is my first event of Sandra's, which I've absolutely loved. Are there any other events that she does that you would recommend?
Last year I attended, I think it was called Mic Drop Mastery. I can't remember. Sorry, Sandra, if I've got that one wrong. It was a 2-day, and it was a Sunday and a Monday, and it was like, that was the best weekend I've spent business-wise. You spend your own money, you take a bit of a gamble as to whether it's worth the effort. But it was an absolute phenomenal event. It was teaching us tips about how to craft our story, how to use our voice. We got to practice and everything. And off the back of that, I booked for the Amplify programme, so that's how I've got in today. And then I booked for another event in July. So yeah, I'll just be keeping an eye out to book on all future events, because there's a load of great women here having some amazing conversations.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate that. And then finally, one thing, give me one tip to do with your business for the audience that they would find helpful.
One tip, if you're a limited company, talk to your accountant about whether you should take a salary or dividends and what mix it should be, because that will help you if you decide to take a business loan in the future, personal loan, or remortgage or take out a new mortgage.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much. It's been great to speak with you.
Thank you.
Oh, wow, wow, wow. Wasn't that amazing? Some of those people that you heard just now have never interviewed anybody before, and some of them had never been interviewed on a podcast. So what a great opportunity for them to get experience of going around the room and speaking to a complete stranger. It was a great way to get the room connecting and talking to each other as well. So if you like what you've heard from the day and the reflections, Mic Drop Live will be happening again on Friday the 18th of September. At the time of recording, location is still to be confirmed, but you can join the waitlist. There will only be 50 places available, and the reason we're capping it at 50 is so that everybody who wants to speak on a panel, on the stage, or just go roving around with a podcast mic gets the opportunity to do so. There'll also be some speakers who educate you on different styles of speaking as well, and share some really good tools and techniques for you. This month's theme has all been about stepping into the spotlight, and I'm a big believer that that has to be on the terms that are right for you. Not everybody wants to stand on a stage, but there's a great way to obviously do other things, such as featuring on a podcast or being interviewed. So if you'd like to come along to Mic Drop Live and experience it for yourself, I'd love to see you there. That's all for this week, and I'll be back next week with another episode of Mic Drop Moments. Thank you for listening to the Mic Drop Moments podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. Join me next week for more inspiration, learning and top tips. Want to work with me on your business growth and strategy, speaking, or simply growing your audience? Just get in touch. Visit womanwho.co.uk to find out how you can start your speaking and visibility journey, or even feature on a future podcast. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss next week's podcast, and if there are any topics you would like to hear, just get in touch with me, your host, Sandra Garlick.